Okay. So we'll start seated as usual. So just finding a comfortable seat. Legs might want to be out or crossed if they feel comfortable to be crossed. And just take a few little rolls of the shoulders, just release any tension. And you might take an inhale, squeeze the shoulders in and up, and then exhale. Let them drop away, just find some length through the spine. Eyes might stay closed. And just allow yourself to take a moment to ground through your sit bones. Find length into the spine. And just noticing how you feel in this moment. And just allowing the breath to flow easily. Just noticing its pathway into the body, whether that's through the mouth or the nose naturally. And just guiding the breath a little bit deeper and slower and longer into the belly. So inhale through the nose, filling up the belly. Exhale through the mouth. Let the belly drop back in. So inhaling, filling up. Exhaling, letting go. I'm going to take a few rounds of like an activating breath, just in and out through the nose. So the inhale will just sort of happen between the exhales, and the exhales are where we're going to focus. So we're going to force the exhale through the nose, kind of to a beat, and then as you'll naturally inhale in between. So really thinking about taking a big deep breath to begin with, big inhale, big long exhale, and then inhale to prepare, and blowing that exhale to the beat. Forcefully, and you might get a little bit of snot bubbles. And then releasing the breath and just allowing it to come back to normal, back in through nose, out through mouth. So it often makes my nose a little bit snottier. But it's good to clear the sinuses, clear that breath. It's our skull shining breath, so it clears the mind. So big inhale, and then we'll go for 20 this time, forceful exhales. And you might feel that you can really pull the belly in on each exhale, and then just let the belly breath return, just let the breath settle. Can also cause brightness in the eyes, so you might start to feel that kind of uplifting energy of that. We'll just do either 10 more or 20 more on one last round. So big deep inhale to prepare. And then just let the breath return to normal. Just notice how that feels in the body now. If there is any shift in energy, alertness, the brain, the eyes, the face, the head, the body, where do you feel that? You might just keep the eyes closed and just start to take the ear to one shoulder, just stretching through the side of the neck. And let the chin gently roll across the chest. And then the ear to the other shoulder. And just moving side to side gently, rolling that chin across chest. Feeling into each side when you brace. And just pause at each side. Feeling that nice side bend through the neck. The trapezius muscles, those muscles that come from the top of our neck, base of our skull down into our shoulders and upper back. Hold a lot of tension, so just allowing them to rest and relax. And then this time drop the chin to the chest, just stay there, keep the spine long. In interlace the hands and just place them behind the head. Gently pull the elbows towards one another so we start to get that little extra overpressure into the base of the neck, base of the skull, just stretching. And then as you open the elbows, lift the chin and support the head. And as you exhale, bring the chin to the chest, elbows together, keep the spine long. So we'll just do a couple here, inhaling, opening. Exhaling, tipping, chin to chest, elbows towards one another. And then as you come back down this time, just pause there, elbows gently close together, chin tucked in. Carefully release the hands, release that pressure, and then draw the belly inwards, just round through the whole spine. So we start to round through the back, upper back and lower back. And then inhale, lift and open through the collarbones, looking up. So exhale, rounding down. Inhaling, lifting and opening. And just move between the two in your own time there. Cat-cow, seated, just opening the spine. Flexion and extension. Then we're going to start to take a little bit of movement of the ribs across the top of the hips. So come back to neutral, just slide the ribs across the top of the hips, trying to find some space between, movement between, just taking a little bit of gentle swaying of that upper body across the lower body. And then we'll circle the ribs around the hips. So we might just allow that head to roll in a figure of 8 with the spine, so we get that full motion of the spine in every direction. Might get all the crystalline-y, clicky, clonky movements, and then reverse your circles back the other way, freeing that whole spine. And then just come to center. So slide, land one hand down, lift the other arm up and over, just find that C shape on the side body this time, just opening that space between the ribs and the hips. And as you inhale, lift back up, and as you exhale, over to the other side, really reaching that top arm to stretch down the side of the body. And as you come back up, we'll take a little twist, one hand to the opposite knee, lift as you turn, lift through the crown of the head. And then gently twist back through center, lifting as you twist to the other side. And then coming back to center. So just rolling over those knees, coming onto all fours. And with the toes tucked under, just sitting back and taking a little stretch into the tops of the feet. So you might just walk the hands towards the knees, and that might be a place to stay supported, or lift up and bring the hips over the heels if you want to stretch a little bit more. If you're there, we'll take our eagle arms. So spread the arms nice and wide open through the chest, and bring the right arm on top of the left, giving yourself a big hug, or wrapping those elbows to find your eagle arms. And then you can lift through the elbows. You might look up and then rounding down, elbows in towards the rib cage. Inhale as you lift and look up. Exhale as you round down, opening the upper back. One more time. Inhale to lift. Exhale to round down. Draw those elbows in, just pausing, unraveling the arms. Take a little swing of those elbows, open through the chest again, and then left arm on top of right. Give yourself a nice big hug, or wrap those elbows and arms, find the hands, lift the elbows high, and then round down on the exhale. So inhaling to lift, hopefully the toes are still enjoying or not enjoying the stretch, but they can stay there. Just moving between your lift and your lower. One more time as we lift the elbows, and then draw them into the rib cage, and just stay with that rounded upper back. Pause for a moment in your rounded position, and then gently release the arms and release those toes. Tops of the feet can land on the mats, and just sit back to stretch the tops of the feet and the ankles, and then bring the fingertips to face towards the toes behind you and lift through the chest. So you might just keep chin tucked in, you might drop that head back and open through the chest, pressing the chest to the sky, shoulders getting a little stretch across the front. Find your breath. more breath here. And then tuck the chin in, walk the hands to the front of the mat, tuck the toes under again, lift the hips, and just walk back into that first down dog. So you can just start to pedal through the heels. You might take a little wiggle of your hips as you walk through the heels, lengthening one leg then the other. And then pressing the floor away, pressing the shoulder blades away from one another, dropping that head down, just let it dangle down. And find your breath. Just find one more breath here. Look between the hands, bend the knees. You might walk, step or jump the feet to the front of the mat. Bring the hands close to the fingertips or close to the toes or fingertips onto shins. Long flat back, lifting through the chest, and then let the head dangle down. Find your forward fold. Just let the head hang heavy. You might grab opposite elbow here and just take a little moment to have a little swing or a little sway. Really dropping that head down, just letting the head be heavy, upper back be heavy and open. And then drop the hands, walk them up through the shins, keep the knees soft, keep the spine long, just coming up through that nice flat back as you come up to stand. And come to the front of your mats. So big toes nice and close or touching, spread the rest of the toes. Might do that 2 or 3 times, just finding a bit of space between each toe and a little gap between the heels, and then a little softness into the knees, but squeeze the bottom. Draw the shoulders back, palms can be wide and open, chest open, lift through the crown of the head, and you might just close your eyes, just taking a moment to really enjoy mountain pose, just noticing how it makes you feel standing tall here. Might be a moment to energetically plug those feet into the ground, grounding into the earth. Slowing the breath down. Just notice how the body feels in standing. And then blinking open the eyes, take the arms wide, lift them up overhead and let the palms touch overhead, reach up to the sky. And as you exhale, tip forwards, diving into that forward fold. Inhale to the long flat back. And exhale to fold. So you might walk, step or jump back to chaturanga if you feel ready. Step back to plank. Otherwise, drop the knees if you need. Elbows are nice and close as you hover down. Peel the chest up as you lift through cobra or up dog. Little lift if you need. Tuck the toes. Lift the hips up and back or press the hips to the heels. Then lift the hips to find down dog. So just let the head dangle nice and heavy here. Find your breath. Notice perhaps how much longer this down dog is compared to the one you might have chosen earlier. When we come from our up dog to our down dog, it's got to be as long as our plank. Feet to hands. One more breath. And then look between the hands, bend the knees, walk, step or jump those feet in, come to that halfway lift, long flat back. And exhale, forward fold. Sweep the arms, widen up, palms touch overhead. And exhale, release the hands. So we'll go again. Inhale, release. Reaching those arms up to touch. Exhale, dive forwards, tipping from your hips into your forward fold. Inhale to the long flat back. And exhale to fold. Walk, step or jump back to plank or chaturanga, hovering down from your plank into your chaturanga. Baby cobra or maybe up dog, lifting those knees if it feels good. And press back to down dog. Find your breath. Pressing those hips away from you to the top back corner of your room. Spread the shoulder blades away from one another to find that strength in the upper back. One more breath here. Building that fire in our belly with our breath. And then look between the hands, bend the knees, walk, step, or jump feet in, come to that halfway lift. And then fold it down, head towards the shins. Inhale, reach those arms up. Palms touch overhead. Exhale, release the hands. And we're in our mountain pose. This time sit the bottom back, sweep the arms forwards, tuck the tailbone under and pull the belly in gently, finding that length in the spine. You might lift those arms up towards the sky, draw the shoulders down the back of the body. Check you can still see your toes in front of your knees. One more breath. And then tip down into forward fold. Inhale to the long flat back and exhale fold. So walking, stepping or jumping back and lifting or lowering those knees as you hover down. Peel the chest, cobra or up dog. Squeeze the bottom and press back to down dog. So left foot turns 45 degrees. Bring the right foot through. Give it some help to get there if you need. Press into those feet. Sweep the arms up and sink into that right knee. Shoulders are down the back of the body. Breathing. Find your breath. One more breath here. Lovely. And then land those hands down to frame that front foot, step it back. Hovering down as you exhale. Inhale to lift the chest. And exhale to press it back. So right foot turns 45 degrees, step the left foot through, give it help to get there if you need. Sweep the arms up and sink in to that left knee. Find your breath. Nice, one more breath here. And then frame that front foot, step it back. Exhale to hover down. Inhale to lift. And exhale to press it back to down dog. So let that head be heavy. Find your breath. And look between the hands, bend the knees, walk, step or jump, feet in. Come to that halfway lift. And exhale to forward fold. Sit the bottom back, sweep the arms either forwards or all the way up into our chair. Sink the bottom down, beautiful. Tuck those tailbones under, reaching through the hands. One more breath. And then release the legs, release the arms. And just step the feet so they're hip distance apart. Bring the hands round to the lower back, squeeze the elbows together, open through the chest. Squeeze the bottom to push the hips forwards and then lift the chest up. So you find a nice lengthened extension through the spine. You can keep the chin tucked in. Might lift it up if it feels okay to do so. One more breath here. And then we're going to tip from the hips as we dive forwards into our forward fold. Bringing our fingertips, using those first two fingers to make a little circle around the big toe with the thumb. Drawing those elbows wide, or just let the hands dangle if you need. So finding the breath here, chance to take really long, sighing, releasing exhales. Letting go of all the breath, all the tension with that exhale. One more breath. And then untuck fingers and toes. Just lift to that halfway flat back, hands might be on the shins or just fingertips on the floor, long through the spine. And as you fold this time, bring the palms of the hands under the soles of the feet. Post them all the way underneath there. Bend the knees as much as you need to get those hands under. Drop the head. Let the head be heavy. Maybe a little nod, yes or no. Just making sure the neck is released. Try and straighten those legs, really pinning the hands down so we get a lovely upper back traction and stretch going on. Very active posture. We're pushing into our big toes, pushing them into our thumbs. You might even sort of squeeze and massage there. Activating the arches of our feet with our big toes working. One more breath. So untuck fingers and toes, walk the hands up the shins, keep the spine nice and long and flat, come up to stand, and then release and stand nice and tall, feet can come together. Find that mountain pose. to take our revolved versions of triangle today. So right foot stays forward, left foot 3/4 length step back, and just turn out the toes, and then just square off the hips and shoulders to the front edge of your mat, reaching that left arm up. So tip forwards, keeping the spine long, press both sit bones back evenly, reach, 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 and then bring that hand on the outside of the front leg, and then start to twist and rotate towards that front leg. So you might keep the right hand where it is, or it might reach up towards the sky to find a long line between both arms for our full revolved triangle. Beautiful, keep breathing. I feel those ankles working to keep us stable. One more breath. And then do a little bit of a cartwheel open with those arms as you lift through the chest, pivoting on the feet. Bring that left foot to become your front foot, right foot just slightly turned out behind, hips nice and square, reach the right arm up. And then lean forwards, tipping from the hips, reaching that right hand forwards and then to the outside of the left leg. So rotating towards that left hand might stay on that left lower back, or it might reach up to the sky. Nice. Simon, you might want to turn that right foot in slightly more. So the toes towards the front of the mat more on that right foot. Yeah. Keep breathing. That's it. Perfect. One more breath. And then we're going to unravel. So coming back round, cartwheeling open, pivoting back to the front of your mat. Big step back in. Why does that one get me out of breath? So right foot stays forwards again. Left foot long step back, keep the heel lifted so we find our high lunge position. So hips are nice and square to the front edge of our mat. Again, we're going to sink in over that right knee. Again, reaching left arm up, reach forwards first, find length and elbow can come to the outside of the knee. Good, hands come together, heart center, we're twisting that heart towards the hands. Compress the hands together, right elbow lifts, we're almost maybe looking under the right elbow. In the twist, we might lift the hands and straighten the arms out if we wish, or we keep those hands pressed together. Keep pressing that back leg long. One more breath. In our twist, good. So gently, carefully unraveling. So pivot on those feet, sweep round to the back of the mat. So keep that back heel lifted, the right heel now, sink into the left knee, find the high lunge, reach the right arm up. Reach forwards over the front leg and take it to the outside of that left knee. Press the right knee to the back of the room. Pivoting the heart towards the hands, hands towards the heart. Good, keep breathing. Maybe straightening out the arms if you did on the other side. One more breath. So then gently, carefully unraveling back as you pivot back round. Big step back into the front of your mat. Standing nice and tall, find length. So we're going to take our pyramid pose. So the right foot stays forwards, left foot just a short step back. And we grab our hands behind. So we might just hold our wrists, our forearms, our elbows. We might take reverse prayer down or up. So right foot stays forward, left foot short step back, and then just square off those hips and shoulders to the front edge of your mat. So as you tip forwards, keep the spine long, keep pressing back evenly through both hips and both sit bones. Reach the crown of the head long, keep tipping from the hip, folding over that front leg, or you might just stay at that halfway kind of flat back position. Keep pressing both sit bones back evenly. Find your breath. Chin towards the shin. As you fold, use the breath. One more breath here. And then lift through the crown of the head as you come back up, and we'll pivot, keeping the hands where they are, just pivoting the feet. Left foot becomes the front foot, right foot just slightly turned out. Keep pressing through those sit bones evenly as you press back. Tipping forwards from the hips, folding over that front leg, staying at 90 degrees, or keep the fold going. Chin towards the shins. Keep finding the breath. One more breath. And then as you lift through the crown of the head, Coming back up, we'll pivot on those feet back to the front of the mat. Gently, carefully release the arms from behind. Give those shoulders a little roll and release. Let them go. And a little shake out if you need. Lovely. So we're going to come to our wide-legged fold. So just stepping nice and wide. Toes either facing forwards or just slightly inwards. And again, we might just take that little back bend. So bring the fingertips onto the lower backs, just pressing the palms into the lower back as you squeeze the elbows together, open through the chest. Lifting up through the chest, pressing the hips forwards. And then tipping from the hips, find a little forward fold. So you might just slide the hands down the outsides of the legs as you tip from the hips, folding, or bring the palms to land in front of you on the floor. If they don't quite land, you might grab a book or a pillow or something to bring the floor closer. And then we're drawing that head down towards the floor, elbows towards one another, really active in that upper back. Make sure the weight's through the front of the feet just as much as the heels. And just trying to draw that head towards the floor, upper back opening. Hips lifting high. Might be a soft bend in the knees, especially if those hamstrings feel tight. And find the breath. One more breath here. Head really dangling. You might just nod yes or no again, making sure the head is relaxed. And then as you come up, just coming up halfway, and then this time let that left hand stay in the center and peel the right arm up to the sky. So we're going to find a little twist in our fold. Good, so just rotating, twisting, beautiful. One more breath. And then drop that hand down, lift through the other arm, sweep and open as you twist. One more breath. And then let that head drop back down. And this time you might just let the backs of the arms rest on the floor. You might grab opposite elbow and dangle here and let that head be really heavy. So really floppy upper back, really relaxed and let go. Just let the arms dangle down or grab the opposite elbow to add a bit of weight into that fold. Again, long exhales, letting go. And then as you press into the floor with the hands, start to lift through the chest. And then we're going to walk the feet towards one another. Just bring them in slightly, toes turned out this time. And you might press the hands into the knees as you lift through the chest, keeping the spine long. So we're coming to a bit of a sumo squat position here. So our knees are wide over our heels, fingertips are pointing down towards our toes. We're going to drop one shoulder forwards as we look under the opposite elbow. So we get a lovely shoulder twist and stretch, and then we'll swap sides. So dropping that shoulder as we look under the opposite elbow, and just moving between the two. So we'll inhale to center, we'll exhale as we twist. So inhale into center, exhale to twist. And just move at your own pace. You'll get a bit of a inner thigh stretch going, as well as those shoulders twisting and rotating. And then just come back to center. Bring the hands down, walk the feet in a little bit further. So the heels are still in, toes are pointing out. We're going to sit the bottom in between those heels if we can. So we can always just prop the heels up if we need. We can always support ourselves on the floor with the hands. Otherwise we're pressing those elbows into the insides of the thighs and knees, lifting tall. Find your breath. One more breath here. And then bring the hands round, just drop the bottom onto the ground and bring the feet forwards and just take a little gentle rock of those knees, windscreen wipering. And then just bring the legs out in front, so ground through the sit bones. Just pop the legs out in front, nice and long, and squeeze through the thighs and lift those toes up and back. So we're squeezing the thighs, the heels start to lift off the ground and lift tall through the chest. Hands can just be rested down by the sides of the body, elbows relaxed, ears way away from those shoulders, lifting tall through the crown of the head. Really spread the toes, engage the feet, Lifting super tall, see if you can lift even further through that midsection. Let the heels drop, reach the arms up a little bit higher and then tip from the hips. Find that forward fold. Those hands will float down. Let them land wherever they land, whether that's on the shins or near the knees or over the feet, doesn't matter. Keep yourself folded from those hips, keep the spine long and find that breath. One more breath here. So gently, carefully release the feet. Just walk the hands back in and up. And as you do that, bring that right knee with you. Give it a bit of a hug in. And then drop the knee wide. Let the foot be to the inside of that left thigh. And again, you can just ground through the sit bones if you need to. Removing any fleshy parts, just really sitting back into those. Keep pulling the left toes up, left heel lifts, lift tall through the chest. And then reaching forwards as you fold over that front leg. Hands may just come to rest by the side or hold the leg or round the foot. So again, we're tipping from the hips, we're trying to bring the chin to the shin, looking to that big toe. Our eye gaze is fixed on our big toe. Use the breath. One more breath. And gently walk your way back up. And take your left hand to your right knee, just take a little twist while you're here, lift and turn. Keep pressing that right knee to the ground. And then gently just come back to center. So just change the cross of the legs, so straightening out that right leg, bring the left foot into the inside thigh, just again ground through the sit bones. If you need, lift up nice and tall through the chest, walking the hands down and resting wherever you reach, or reaching around that foot. Use the breath to just draw you chin towards shin. Eye gaze to the big toe. Each exhale, just softening a little bit further. And then gently and carefully as you walk your way back up, take that little twist, right hand to left knee. And then gently come back to center. So just bring both soles of the feet together in our seated butterfly and just draw them in nice and close. You can use your thumbs to open the soles of the feet like a book. So really squeezing the outsides of those knees wide, lifting tall through the chest. And then tipping forwards if you want a little bit more. Elbows might be used to just pin the knees wide. If they're not being used, squeeze them in close to the rib cage and tip from the hips in that fold. Keep finding the breath. See if you can, again, with each exhale, just take it a little bit further into the fold, gently, without force. One more breath here. And then gently lifting back up. So straightening out the left leg, keep the right knee tucked in again. And this time we're going to take that leg round and behind. So if this isn't for you because of knees, you might take that same option we just did by dropping the knee wide. Otherwise, we're taking the leg round. We're going to use the thumb to pull the calf muscle out of the way, and then we can reshuffle the sit bones and try and sit evenly. If that does not work, we can come to more of a sort of hurdler position instead, and we're still stretching into the hip and knee and ankle. But if we can get to that half saddle position, we'll stay here for a moment, just shuffling, trying to land both sit bones. If there's any pain in the knee, do come away from this. Lift nice and tall, folding forwards over that front leg, if we can, to add to our half saddle pose. So ankle will be being stretched and the knee twisted gently. If there's any pain, do undo this. Gently come back. One more breath here. And then as you come up, just walk your way back. Hands just come behind to support, so you might just bend through the elbows, lowering halfway. You might be able to land the elbows all the way down, opening the front body even more. Or you might be able to lie yourself flat, which I cannot show you. Good, so just wherever feels okay. If there's any pain, come back up, release the knee gently. You might keep your chin tucked to chest because it might feel better. When you're ready to come up, bring the chin to the chest and just walk your way back up. Roll away from the bent leg. Carefully release that leg, give that knee a little gentle rub. Ankle, little circle release. Get rid of any clicky parts. So straightening out that leg. Bring the left knee into the chest. So again, option just to come back to where we were earlier, Janu Sasasana, or we're bringing that leg round behind. You're using the thumb to roll the calf muscle out of the way to make space for that knee joint to be in that twist. So again, settle the sit bones. They might already be nice and grounded, or they may lift. Foot could be away from the bottom or close. Knees can be touching or a little bit apart. Lifting tall through the chest as you fold forwards, if there's some room to move here. Stay with the breath. As long as it's just uncomfortable, that's fine. Use the breath to breathe through. If there's pain, we know we're not in a position we should be staying in, so do move out gently and carefully, supporting the leg. And then as you come up, carefully just walking your way back in and up. Walking the hands back, you might just keep fingertips pointing towards bending the elbows. You might be able to land all the way down on the elbows and forearms. You might be able to lay flat. So only going where it feels comfortable. My knee feels a bit of pressure on the side, so I'm not going to go any further. Always drop the head back if you want to rest into that, or keep that chin tucked in. One more breath here. And then bring chin to chest as you walk your way back up. Walk forwards, roll away from the knee, give it some help as you take it round. And just give that knee a little rub, ankle, little circle release. And straighten out the legs. And just let those legs, give them a little, imagine you're waving your feet side to side. So just rock, give them a little rock through the whole legs, let them relax. Good. So keep the left leg straight and bring the right knee into your chest. And then we're going to bring the right arm on the inside of the right knee. So lift it up, bring the shoulder to the inside, reach forwards as far as you can, and you're going to turn the palm away and wrap the arm round the back of that bent leg. Other arm might come round behind. You may be able to hold the fingertips behind. If you can't, don't worry, just stay where you are, hook that leg round. If you've got the fingertips, you might start to straighten and fold forwards a little bit over that front leg. So we should be getting a little shoulder rotation stretch going on. Still trying to fold forward, still working the left leg. You can always squeeze the thigh, get a little extra hamstring stretch going down that left straight leg. One more breath here. And then gently, carefully release the hands from behind first, and just release that front shoulder. And then just give those legs a little lift. So you might bring the feet in, lift the hips, kick and swap if you want to, or just swap the legs over. So right leg straight, left knee hugged in. Bring that left shoulder on the inside of the knee. Reach forwards. You'll lift that sit bone, that left sit bone, and then palm rotates round, and we can just hook on, or maybe we can find those hands behind and re-land the sit bone. And then we can draw the chin towards the shin of that front leg. Breathing. And then gently, carefully release the hands from behind. Release that front shoulder gently. And give it a little release. Right foot comes in front of left. Lift the hips, kick and swap the legs again. Or straighten out that left leg and hug the right knee into the chest. So this time we're going to twist. So keep that left leg straight, wrap the left arm around the right leg, hug it in towards you and twist to turn. So we're really trying to make some space. You might have to draw the belly and lift tall as you twist. This backhand isn't doing too much, it's just there to help keep me supported, but really my core is lifting me here. So we can stay hugging. We might bring that elbow to the outside of the knee if we wish. about, that rotation, that twist, which is really detoxing. It's also neutralizing for our spine, so really nice to get the benefits of the twist through the belly, through the spine. And gently and carefully come back around. We're coming all the way around to the straight leg and just going to bow down, so just a little counter twist. And then come back up. So straightening out that right leg, left knee draws in towards the chest. So try and bring it in as close as it can come. And then wrap the right arm round and really draw that knee towards the armpit and maybe lift the belly so you can rotate a little bit further. Breathing. Again, making sure that you're lifting all through the crown of the head. This back arm is a bit obsolete, just there to prop and maybe even gently help you twist, but not leaning onto that wrist. One more breath. And then gently as you come unraveling back round, little counter twist, bow down to the other side. And come back to centre. So then just find your sit bones, just ground into those sit bones. Bring the knees into the chest and give them a bit of a squeeze. You might just hug the knees in and try and lift tall and bring your belly and your thighs together. So we're really kind of squeezing in. Then we're going to start to just walk the feet tiptoes in towards you, so you start to take the balance onto the sit bones, but we're keeping the belly and the thighs connected. So you might stay here. You might try and keep belly and thighs connected. Reach to grab the outsides of the soles of the feet. So almost sticking your belly towards your thighs. Then as you bring those legs up, we can again keep belly and thighs together. Should be able to still hold our feet. Good, we're really tucked in a ball, but we're trying to find that balance. Maybe those legs keep straightening, belly and thighs are still together. I can't really straighten my legs, but we can try and go as straight as they will go. Keep breathing. You might start to take the legs wide, finding that balance on those sit bones. Nice. Bring the legs back together and then bring them back to 90 degrees. And we're going to try and release one hand and the other. So you might have to just find that little bit of balance back further. Then release the hands. You can keep the toes flexed or pointed. Now we're just leaning a little bit. And then we're going to roll our way onto our lower back, just our lower back. So press the heels away, keep the shoulders and chest lifted, find that little dish shape. We're going to take a big exhale in a moment. So take a big inhale, and as you exhale, we're going to crunch back up. Yeah. Yay. So come back to seated, well done. So we're going to find a few little rocks and rolls here to massage that lower back. So our Ashtanga variation, we roll round in circles. If you don't have enough room for that, then you might just rock and roll forwards, backwards. So keep the chin tucked in, roll yourself down. If you want to roll in a circle, then obviously as you come up, just rotate and work your way round. I'm just going to stay with rocking and rolling. So keeping the chin tucked in, have a little rock and roll. See if you can come back to that balance point without the toes having to land on the floor. So we're slowing down the roll up so that we can control it, use our core to bring us up to sit tall and then round down. So we're just trying to use the core on the way up and on the way down, because we want to slow both movements. And we're rolling through the spine to massage. Keep that chin tucked in. So this time, as you roll down and roll back up, land the feet. Bring the feet so they're hip distance apart, knees hip distance. Sit nice and tall, reach the arms, and then roll yourself down super slowly. So see if you can control one vertebrae at a time as you roll down. Try and keep those feet pinned to the floor. Oops, so is that quick bit? Good, and when you land on your back, just take that full body stretch. Press the palms away, press the heels of the feet away. And then just hug that right knee into the chest. Give it a nice big squeeze in. Keep pressing that left leg along the floor. And then walk down the back of the right leg. You might just hold wherever feels good, or you might hook onto the big toe with the peace fingers, sending that right leg to the sky. Left hand might be just rested on the left thigh. Keep grounding that left leg down. And find your breath. So start to take the right leg out to the right side, supporting it wherever you need to. Keep the left leg grounded, left shoulder and hip grounded. Breathing into that right inner thigh. One more breath here. Bring that right leg back to center, lift the head, neck and shoulders, bring the nose towards the knee so that we lift and engage the core. And then as you gently bend into that right leg, just soften through the knee. Take that right leg over to the left side, so we find our recline twist. So we're rolling the leg over, trail the right arm behind you, just straightening it out along the ground, finding that full twist. And really let the spine just twist and open here. Find the breath. One more breath here. My belly, excuse it. And then gently roll back to center. And lift the hips, and you might just lift them, land them so that they are nice and flat again, and straightening out that right leg, keep it grounded along the floor. Hug the left knee into the chest and give it a nice big squeeze. And then walk the hands down the back of that leg, hooking onto the big toe with your peace fingers, send that left heel high. Find your breath. Keep grounding through the right leg. And then start to take that left leg out to the left side. Keep finding your breath. Supporting that left leg, keeping the right leg grounded, right hip, right shoulder down. And then as you start to take that left leg back to center, lift the head, neck and shoulders, draw the nose towards the knee, little engagement of the core. And then bend into that left leg as you let the head land. Roll the left leg over to the right side, trail that left arm behind you, and that lovely twist. Let gravity do all the work to just open through the spine here. Let everything soften and relax. Imagine someone's pulling gently on your left knee, but pinning your left shoulder to the floor. So get that lovely gentle twist. One more breath. And then carefully just unravel back to center. And lift the hips again and lower them back down. And then bring the knees wide, hug them in. Imagine they could squeeze under the armpits, just give them a little rock side to side. And then just hands on top of the knees, just guide them out and around in circles. So just working into those hips. Circling through the knees. And then reverse your circles back the other way. And let the feet drop wide as your mat or near to that. And let the knees drop over to the right and the head to the left. And then swap sides as you rock. And windscreen wiper gently side to side. Just let the knees roll as the head swaps and swaps. We get that lovely opening, twisting. And then come back to center. Bring the feet so that they are in line with the hips, as close to the hips as feels comfortable for you. Knees bent. So just bring the shoulders away from the ears, tuck the chin to the chest and re-land the head. So we've got length through the spine. So we're just coming up into our bridge pose. So we're going to squeeze through the bottom, lift the hips high, find that long line, looking down the body, long line between our nose, our knees, our hips and our shoulders. Finding that length, squeezing through the bottom to lift into our bridge. And I'm going to roll down super slowly, so roll one vertebrae at a time, trying to leave the hips to touch floor last. And without moving the feet, tiny baby windscreen wipers of the knees, little rock side to side. So we'll lift again into bridge, so you might take that same version, just plain bridge, lifting those hips high. You might interlace the hands underneath, roll onto the outside edges of the shoulders, straightening the arms, getting a little chest and shoulder stretch added to our lift. So really squeeze through the bottom, whichever option you're in. Nice, keep those hips high. And then if you've got the bind underneath, you just roll off those shoulders, roll the hips back down, super slowly. Let the hips land last. Tiny baby windscreen wipers of knees. Nice. And then we're going to take a little shoulder stand to finish. So just maybe if you don't want to take shoulder stand, always an option just to lift the legs to the sky. Bring the palms of the hands underneath onto the floor, underneath the hips. Backs of hands are supporting the hips, and we can just bring the feet to the sky in our 90 degrees waterfall pose. So we might just stay there. If we're going to come up into shoulder stand, just make sure you've got a little space behind you. Bring the knees towards the chest, roll the hands down the back of the body as you walk the feet up to the sky, finding our shoulder stand. So our chin is definitely tucked in, so we're length through the back of the neck. We can just point those feet up to the sky. Lovely. If we're in our shoulder stand, we might start to take those legs behind. You might do one at a time, or you might super slowly roll the legs over, knees towards the chin, not chin, forehead. Can't decide what body part I want today. So you might bend the knees to take the pressure off, or you might keep those legs long, trying to find the floor behind you. Keep breathing. So when you're ready to come down, you might stay supported on the lower back. You can always bend the knees to take the pressure off again, or hands might land on the floor as you roll yourself down. Keep those knees close to the body, close to the face, as you roll down super slowly, trying to control those hips as they come to land on the ground. When they do, point the feet up to the sky, long through the legs, and then super slowly lower them down. Am I going to hit my thing? No. So lowering super slowly, under control. And then let the legs land. And bring the palms of the hands again face down, just under the hips. Roll onto the outside edges of those elbows. Lift the chest and then let the back of the head land on the floor in a bit of a fish pose here. Just a little counter pose for being in a full spinal flexion. We just take a little tiny extension, lifting the chest. Lower back, finding a little extension there. One more breath, and then just lift the chin to chest, roll the elbows off the floor, and land yourself flat onto the mat again. And if you are off your mat, just wriggle back on. And again, then just bring those knees to the chest, give them a little gentle squeeze, little rock side to side, just massaging the lower back across the mats. And if there's any final moves you'd like to take, maybe a little happy baby, or anything else that feels like it's a nice way to complete your practice, now's your chance. If you're ready, you might just simply lie yourself flat into Shavasana. So you might bring the soles of the feet together, let the knees be wide in that reclined butterfly. You might walk the feet wide, let the knees drop in and touch each other so that the spine is flat. Or you can just lie in that starfish shape. Heels in, toes rolling wide, shoulders down away from ears. Backs of arms rested on the ground, fingertips just gently curling in. And just close the eyes, soften any tension in the forehead. Maybe just let the lips gently part so that the jaw is relaxed. Tip of the tongue resting against the roof of the mouth. Breath flowing easily in through nose, filling up the belly. Out through the mouth, relaxing and letting go. Just let the base of the skull rest and be held here. Shoulders melting into the floor. Backs of arms and wrists heavy against the mat. Hips held and supported as belly rises and falls. Legs relaxed. Toes rolling wide, no tension. Just softening the muscles in the forehead and around the eyes. As always, full permission to rest and relax. Receiving all the energy, revitalizing the body. Just gently start to bring awareness back into your body. You might wriggle your toes, you might wriggle your fingers, you might circle your ankles or circle your wrists. And just start to take that full body stretch. Press the palms away, press the heels of the hands away. And then hug the knees into the chest, give them a bit of a squeeze. And just rolling onto the right hand side, just take a moment curled in a ball there. And gently walking way up to a seated position when you're ready. You might keep your eyes closed or just keep the head bowed down. I'll just close the practice with a few breaths together and one on. So just taking a big deep inhale, filling up the belly. Side out, let it go. Inhale deeply. Exhale completely. Inhaling to Om. Om.